The problem in India-Pakistan relationship is that violence is going to go up because the expectation of violence is the new normal. In fact, so much of it is driven by public perception, media perception, that, we're telling lies to our own sides.
Pakistan feels that, it was victorious in this escalation. The reverse is true here. India feels that it taught Pakistan a lesson. Is that not how Pakistan sees it?
No, this is not how the world sees it. Forget about Pakistan. India has still not found and convinced the world that we've caught these people or there's clear-cut evidence.
Is Munir not worried about the kind of image he's projecting internationally? Which army attends funerals of terrorists?
They're saying that the people who died were not terrorists. One of the things that Asim Munir has walked away with, that while Trump has mentioned ceasefire between India and Pakistan, there's actually been nowhere a mention of Pakistan either doing Pahalgam or accused of terrorism. When Mr. Modi says that he wants to talk about POK, fine, that brings us back to talking about Kashmir. The dangerous path that we tread is having less and less knowledge about each other. I'm sure right now is not the environment for talks, but I think eventually we will have to talk.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Tipping Point. Joining me today is Ayesha Siddiqa, a senior fellow at the Department of War Studies at King's College, London. She is also the author of Military Inc., a critically acclaimed book. Ayesha has deep knowledge and understanding of how the Pakistan military mind works. Let's dive straight in. My first question. General Asim Munir, the Pakistani army chief, has now been elevated to Field Marshal. What does that mean for Pakistan, A, and B, how should India be reading it?
In a way, it was meant as a signal to India as well, that, look, the political government recognizes the contribution, the leadership of General Asim Munir and has rewarded him with this title of Field Marshal in a war that happened between India and Pakistan, ended inconclusively. Yet the reading in Pakistan is that it's a victory. I was reading a report in the RUSI, Royal United Services Institute of the UK Journal, which also mentioned shooting down of 3 Rafales. So from Pakistan's perspective, there was a push from India. Pakistan deterred. The government is feeling happy and so. But what does it mean for future of conflict with India? What implications would it have? None. The magic lies in how effective you are on the field, not in the titles you acquire.
Well said.
So if it's a signal to Mr. Modi, then ineffective, it's neither here nor there. But it's interesting that the impact of the decision to make him Field Marshal. The impact is that just hours ago, before this announcement was made, people were generally on the streets, satisfied with Pakistan's performance, happy that we didn't get pushed back by India, that we could do a response, a general sense of jubilation. And then you have this announcement. And suddenly all of those voices that were otherwise critical of the army of General Asim Munir started opening their mouths all over again. People are actually there are many who are making fun of this decision. Some are saying somebody who was otherwise, I saw one account, and I know this person as well, who was otherwise very supportive of the military. Suddenly he was like, oh, so what comes next? Will we declare him Qaid-e-Azam? Uh, so people were making fun. So it's almost like the political government snatching the good light away from Mr. Asim Munir. And so the man who had suddenly began to emerge as victorious and okay, we don't like what he's done with Imran Khan, we don't like what he's done with in this, that, in case of this, that, and the other. Suddenly they're like, well, you know, this is again a very ordinary man who kind of acquires titles for himself.
I wanted to interrupt you. Basically, India has not conceded to losing any aircraft, number one. All it has said is that losses do happen in combat. And you mentioned that Pakistan feels that, it was victorious in this escalation between India and Pakistan. The reverse is true here. I mean, India feels that it taught Pakistan a lesson. New red lines were crossed. The Lashkar and Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters were targeted. Air bases, we've seen visuals of craters. Is that not how Pakistan sees it?
No, this is not how the world sees it. Forget about Pakistan. You see, let's go one by one. It's now coming out in international media, and people who are otherwise, I mean, this Rusi article is by a professor at King's College who is otherwise who's a scholar of India. He's not a scholar of Pakistan. Least interest in Pakistan. Walter Ludwig, and his Rusi article. I mean, Rusi Royal United Services Institute is a military institution. So that mentions the three Rafales, downing of three Rafales. The international media is talking about, Rafales being shot down. And I think the problematic part is that both sides may have learned their lessons. I'm pretty sure, and I hope that the militaries have learned their lessons and are kind of rethinking and restructuring and changing some of the concepts that they have. But from the public consumption, I think this is problematic about this this particular phase of a spiral of conflict that we had. That part of it is so performative. In fact, so much of it is driven by public perception, media perception, that, we're telling lies to our own sides and raising expectation. So now the problem in India-Pakistan relationship is that violence is going to go up because the expectation of violence is the new normal.
Saying
India,
that India may see another attack?
if another attack happens, well, Indian government has announced. And Pakistan will see another attack as well. I mean, there was an attack in Khuzdar in which children died. Now, of course, Pakistan doesn't have the capability of striking when it believes that an attack has happened with Indian collusion. But if there is a response, and then Indian government has already announced that
India
any next terror
completely
attack.
denied any hand on that. Yes, India
Yeah,
has formally
yeah. So
denied.
did, but let's not go to that path because Pakistan has also denied any involvement in Pahalgam. But
But
let's not go that route because that will completely
but
stall all of our conversation.
allow me to just point out a few things. I mean, India has been at the receiving end of terrorism being exported from Pakistan. I'll give you concrete instances. Kargil,
I agree with that, all of that. I'm not
26/11
denying. No, no,
Mumbai.
no, no. I'm not denying any of that, and I'm not saying that all of that is not true. So you don't have to convince me. I think here, what I'm saying, I'm talking about perceptions and I'm talking about what is there on the ground. I'm not saying Jaish Mohammed is not there. I'm not even saying Lashkar-e-Taiba is not there. And I'm not even saying that these are not terrorist organizations. I'm somebody who's, again, written a lot about the linkage. All I'm saying is that in case of Pahalgam, India has still not found and convinced the world, I mean, forget about Pakistan, convince the world that, we've caught these people or there's clear-cut evidence. So in light of that, if there's going to be another terror attack, and, why shy away from this understanding that, yes, proxy wars and terror is the new normal as well as an attack. And the new normal, by the way, is not set in 2025. This new normal was India tried to establish that starting from 2016. 2016, there was a surgical strike which wasn't visible. Pakistan denied. India said we did it. 2019 was more visible. So there was an attack. India did Balakot. Pakistan struck back. And it's, and so Abhinandan, your Air
Yes,
Force, Indian Air
pilot.
Force pilot was caught, right? This is further escalation.
That's right.
Attack, India responded, Pakistan pushback. Expectation of violence on both sides has increased. That's the new normal. The new normal also is that, this will happen. And strategically, while India has signaled to Pakistan what it will do, it has not managed to create deterrence where, like in 2002, Musharraf, General Musharraf was sufficiently impressed to say that, all right, let's shut down these terror camps, let's shut down these organizations. He was the only one who had ordered, in fact, the two generals who had tried to cut down on terror outfits was General Parvez Musharraf and General Qamar Javed Bajwa.
You're saying Munir has not been deterred. He has not understood the new red lines, and I would like to enumerate at least two of them. One, and Prime Minister Modi has articulated both, that India will not fall for nuclear blackmail, and two, blood and water cannot flow together. That message you're saying General Munir has not got.
No. I mean, where is the evidence that he's got that? Uh, and, I'm not saying that tomorrow there will be something unfortunate happening, but once, I think the proxy wars, continued proxy wars, are very problematic. And let's not shy away from discussing that and saying it. So once, Jafar Express happened, for example, or the attack in Khuzdar, I mean, things start piling up. And then there is this expectation, and especially on a general who has now been elevated to, to make him look like the most powerful man in the entire military institution. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I mean, if we leave the India-Pakistan thing aside and move on to Pakistan military, you'd see that today he's the only five-star general. I mean, he is higher than any of the other commanders, even Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee.
Are you saying that Operation Sindoor, launched by India after Pahalgam, has that helped General Munir shore up his own image domestically within Pakistan?
I think the story I was trying to tell you is that actually it's not shored up his image. politically it's more problematic. I mean, had he, there's things best eaten cold. And he should have enjoyed the limelight he was getting after the end of this, this cycle of conflict, enjoyed himself. Rather, this whole thing of being elevated to 5 star is bringing a bit of negative kind of it's making his image more problematic, or the problematic in the same way as it was before Pahalgam and before uh, this conflict. Uh, and it adds to it makes him the most powerful man, uh, which would then have nervousness within his own organization. Uh, One doesn't know what does it mean. And I think that some of the steps that the political government has taken, I mean, the decision is more political. It has more political implications than anything else. Uh, it complicates the military's life as an institution, but they're definitely short-term political benefit. I mean, Shahbaz Sharif has sent a signal that, look, we're so grateful to you, and we are so kind of uh, happy to kind of go the extra mile to praise you, that we have given you this title. And now remember that, please, and stick by our side. Don't go around releasing Imran Khan, go around negotiating with him. And, there are, so now, very simply, I think the real thing which we would be looking at is that in November of this year, when General Munir completes his 3 years tenure, uh, he will definitely get a 2 years extension.
Isn't that a given?
Yes and no, but that means that I mean, that extension itself has own set of problems for the military. You see, when you're a brigadier, you serve for 5 years, then you become a major general, then a lieutenant general. A lieutenant general's tenure is 4 years. An army chief's tenure used to be 3 years. Now, a 4 years lieutenant general would start thinking about his chances to one day perhaps become the army chief, right? Now, there are a lot of lieutenant generals who will retire under his watch.
That's
It's a
right.
5 years term, right? And in 2027, if the relationship remains the same, or even if it doesn't remain the same, even if Shahbaz Sharif is not the prime minister, somebody else is, the next government is likely to extend him for another 5 years. Uh, so he'll probably be the man overseeing the next elections, the next political government in power. And also, I think that's when an army chief's life becomes less peaceful.
Now let's move to Imran Khan. Do you see any chances of a thaw between General Munir and Imran Khan, who jailed him in the first place on charges of treason? I mean, in the last few days, we've been reading about how his sister, Imran's sister, was allowed to visit him in jail.
These are all stories. The sister being allowed to visit him, she's family. There is a right that every prisoner has of, right of visitation by family. So she did that as well. Here and there is some softening in order to impress my argument is that this is simply to impress the PTI support base, give them this false hope so they don't get get back to criticizing General Munir and the army. And so the So the cooling down of temperature in the PTI circles that had happened as a result of the war, they want to capitalize on that, build on that further.
Has that constituency shifted from Imran Khan towards General Munir? Pakistani street was clearly on the side of Imran Khan. We saw what happened during the election. The independents fought and won, even though they were denied the PTI election symbol. Uh, his supporters literally shook the gates of the army headquarters in Rawalpindi.
I think shifted is the wrong word. See, they'll still probably go and vote for for Imran Khan. But what's happened is that a bit of economic relief, uh, inflation going down, good news to hear from the public's point of view. I'm not sure that it's a matter of shifting. I mean, the beneficiary of all of that, let's not forget, is also Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, which uh, it is gradually kind of strengthening in Punjab. Uh, so that's one lesson. The other is that I'm still not sure that people who love Imran Khan are shifting away from that. All that has happened is that they're no longer pushing back the military and saying, we'll stand up against them, because they're like, no, in this hour of need, let's not do that. They are the neutral PTI supporters who are not, very gung-ho, uh, who are not militant. Let's say we're not militant PTI supporters, but they were definitely PTI supporters. They have been neutralized. And those who are still very militant Imran Khan supporters, that nothing but Imran Khan. And the military is responsible and it's bad. You have kind of less of them, and even those, they're more careful expressing whatever they have to say. Uh, so in a way, there has been a bridging between the PTI support base and the military as far as military's socio-political survival is concerned.
Let me ask the question also in another way. If we were to put Imran Khan and General Munir on either side of a weighing scale, would the weight be equal, or would the scale tilt? And if it tilts, in which direction would it tilt?
It depends on time. I think right now it will tilt towards Asim Munir.
Are you saying Asim Munir is in the driving seat? Is he like the new hero in Pakistan?
Yes, that's how he comes out to be. Field Marshal Asim Munir, yes, is the new hero. There is, and there is a short window. This is a short window. Let's also specify that. Reason being that, uh, you know, once other issues come up, once there are other policies which bother the ordinary people, uh, there will be, doesn't mean there won't be resistance. I mean, just yesterday, there was people came out in one city in Sindh, and this was opposition to corporate farming. And corporate farming is where Munir has his stakes and hopes that, he was also a man who wanted to change the economy and turn Pakistan into a $1 trillion economy. So he's focused on agriculture as well, and that's where we'll create problems. Now now it's so interesting. I'd seen the mood change in Sindh. I mean, Sindh, where had come out, people were angry about the 6 canals that were being made, water issue. When the war happened, many of the even liberal kinds were sympathetic towards the military. They were like, we push back. So do not also underestimate the sentiment. And I would say this is natural. When people will be angry, people on a daily basis will have the real issues will be something else. Pakistan, if you ask me, I'd say Pakistan's biggest problem really is the economy. That's what we need to focus on. Once there is a push from outside, people will also kind of come together. So even if you hate Asim Munir, dislike him for whatever reason, or the army, once it could demonstrate that to the people that it could protect, then people are excited, people were supportive. So that way, Pakistan is a very odd one. When you look at Pakistan on a normal day, there's so many other issues. Like any other country in South Asia, it's not odd. You'd feel that, and the thing is that uh, I would also like to point out that Asim Munir took over charge of the military 2 years ago at a very interesting time when uh, I think in a series of because of series of conversations between India and Pakistan, starting from Lahore Declaration,
Nawaz Sharif and
Nawaz
Vajpayee.
Sharif, to Musharraf, right? Musharraf with Vajpayee and then
In
Manmohan
Agra.
Singh, right? Then moving on to, coming to General Bajwa, right? All of that, there had been a change in mood in, for example, Punjab. So when,
Even
for example,
Dr. Manmohan Singh's time, the back channel was very
yeah,
much in the works. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, forget, you know, I think let's not, while we fought a war, let's not kind of take our eyes away from the benefits that had occurred, by this off and on engagement. So, and I'm not even worried about or even talking about the back channel. They do back channel or they don't do back channel. The important was that the mood in Pakistan had shifted. I mean, Punjab was no longer invested in a war with India. When Bilawal Bhutto would kind of talk very aggressively about Mr. Modi or about fighting or his famous statement of, it'll either be water or your blood. So I was talking to people in Pakistan, people who are very integrated with the ground, and I was like, what is he saying? And they said, it's funny. He doesn't understand, Bilawal doesn't understand that this jingoism is not going to make him popular in Punjab, which he needs to win in order to ever become the prime minister. He said it will make him popular with GHQ, but not in Punjab. Punjab no longer buys this anti-Indianism. I think this is what I want us to also, as analysts, as people who write, think about. And that's a critical time where Munir took over. And Munir perhaps was just not interested was wanted to change the legacy. Whether he's managed to do that is now uh, what I, at least as a Pakistan watcher, and you as a South Asian watcher, or a Pakistan watcher too, needs to see.
Let's talk about the Indus Water Treaty, the new normal. Prime Minister Modi saying categorically, clearly that water and blood cannot flow together. The ordinary Pakistani will eventually feel the pinch. Already there's an economic crisis. There is a political crisis with Imran Khan in jail. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and the Baluch Liberation Army are all aiming their guns at Asim Munir and his deep state. Why can't he just focus on all these issues instead of, repeatedly saying that Hindus and Muslims are different. He reiterated the two-nation theory just 4 or 5 days before Pahalgam, and he also called Kashmir the jugular vein. Why can't the Pakistan military just move away and set their own house in order?
Let's go one by one. I don't think that, Balochistan is problematic, but I don't think that's a problem which is bothering him. In fact, you see, what this war with India has done is given him that, extra strength to go and crack down on Balochistan much more. I mean, he's gotten that permit, almost like a permit, to go and crack down on Balochistan, be more assertive, use more force. Prior to this conflict, people would question, people would ask, there would be sympathy in the mainstream for the Baloch. After this conflict, there has been silence. Nobody is, and I get very uncomfortable with this linkage between this bracketing of India and Balochistan. Because the impact it would have on the ordinary Baloch, who wants autonomy, who wants a political solution. So, in fact, now Mr. Munir has a license for more violence, not less. The same goes for, remember, you were just so focused from your India perspective on what he said about Kashmir being the jugular vein and Hindu and Muslims can't live together. Please also think of what he said even before that. He said Pakistan will be a hard state. Now, hard state is something which will create greater complications for him. It will mean more violence. This is likely to make Pakistan unhappier. He's so kind of interested in creating a new Pakistan. That's his vision. And the problem is, he is not known to be somebody. He has, of course, his own cabal that I'm sure discusses things with. But we are looking at that phase of General Munir.
Can you explain what you mean by new Pakistan?
A hard country which cracks down, whips anyone who stands up to or questions the state. So from Imran Khan to those who did May 9th, from his party to the Baloch, to those in Sindh who talk about water. He's a schoolmaster. It's like being a schoolmaster.
When he keeps quoting from the Quranic scriptures, would you call him a Maulvi? Likes to inculcate this image.
He's Hafiz because he's memorized. That doesn't make him a Maulvi. He is, of course, conservative. And of course, he is, there is this argument which people are having that, is he the first Islamist? No, he's not the first Islamist. It was Ziaul Haq who was the first. He's the second. He definitely is that. He sees, Pakistan as this great Islamic state. He's not going to turn laws like Ziaul Haq, create laws, make them more Islamic. He's not going to do that. Definitely not. So there is that difference, but he's definitely Islamist. But I think that is not what bothers me, if he's a Hafiz or not. What bothers me is that he goes around citing the Quran and arguing, that there is us and them, that the world is divided between those, he looks at India, and it's like a bunch of unbelievers, and the separation, the separation between water and fire, that kind of thing. He does imagine that. So what I'm saying is, and he wants to create a more powerful Pakistan economically, militarily. He is trying to kind of redefine Pakistan. And in the process, crowding out every single institution. So the Supreme Court, right after Pahalgam, the Supreme Court allowed the army courts gave it power to try civilians and court-martial them. Major move. There are no political parties worth their salt left.
So the one visual that disturbed me the most is of generals attending the last rites of terrorists killed. Is Munir not worried about the kind of image he's projecting internationally? Which army attends funerals of terrorists?
But they're saying that the people who died were ordinary Maulvis, that, these were not terrorists. Murid what they're saying, and let's see it in the context of the policy that had gradually been evolved. See, one of the things that Asim Munir has walked away with, that while Trump has mentioned ceasefire between India and Pakistan, end of war between India and Pakistan at least 7 to 8 times, there's actually been nowhere a mention of Pakistan either doing Pahalgam or Pakistan accused of terrorism, right? The same way the pressure had come after 9/11, that pressure from the international community has been missing. Now, Pakistan Army's argument would be that, see, we told you that we are going to mainstream these organizations, bring them into mainstream, take them away. We can't kill them all, but we will let them proselytize, let them kind of attend the madrasas, etc., and actually the targets. And in fact, let me also tell you that what seems, I mean, that there was also discomfort regarding Munir within the military, vis-a-vis Imran Khan issue.
Of course.
And therefore the perception that even the military was not with him. Now, this time around, from what I've heard, this is what I am picking up from the ground, is that the military serving and retired, again, they came together on this one. One, of course, because there was an attack from across the border, but also the fact that, the men were that, okay, if you're accusing Lashkar-e-Taiba for attack in Pahalgam, then attack them. Why 9 other places? So just think about it. I want to leave you, in fact, with this thought that actually what has happened in the last 5-6 years, and look very carefully, go through Pakistan's media, there's actually so little reporting of these groups. Now, there's not a single one reporting that they have become invisible in public eye, also in the eye of the ordinary soldier and officer.
They have not become invisible in Kashmir. The resistance force took credit initially before withdrawing that statement. They are a proxy of the Lashkar-e-Taiba.
In this, if you're asking me, I'm just explaining to you what's the perception there.
Okay.
I'm not defending it. I'm just telling, right? So the mindset is and the thing is that resistance front, again, 2 years ago, I had personally heard about the resistance front from my side of Kashmir. And my understanding was that Jaish would be marching around in Kashmir talking about jihad. Resistance front did kind of try to engage more in political activities. It was doing that. And that the ordinary Kashmiri, in fact, on my side of the border, was in the past 2, 3 years, was kind of agitating more about autonomy, about how it was getting politically controlled from Islamabad, and that there was actually a distance. I mean, they didn't like these groups. So what I'm trying to say is that resistance front was not like, it wasn't like an all-out open activity in our side of Kashmir, nor were Kashmiris attending a lot of Jaish jalsas, right? So, and so the ordinary Kashmiri wasn't bothered. So in their minds, these people are there, they're trying to get attention, but we are not giving them attention. The same thing was happening in other parts. So you have to understand. I mean, you can get very angry about what happened in Pahalgam, but also try to understand that there is actually an invisibility of these groups on my side of the border, which is what has helped build that perception that actually, these guys are not doing anything. It's the perception which matters.
To end the interview, I must ask you, is this very tense standoff between India and Pakistan going to stay? Because, I mean, you've already said that Munir hasn't got the message. Prime Minister Modi has said no talks, and terror and talks cannot go together. If there are talks, they can only be about POK.
When Mr. Modi says that he wants to talk about POK, fine, that brings us back to talking about Kashmir. When you start talking about Pakistan side of Kashmir, you end up talking about Kashmir. I mean, you can't limit the conversation. Sadly, I think this conflict will kind of take us even further apart. And I think the dangerous path that we tread, let me tell you, is having less and less knowledge about each other, more tactical information, and lesser information, real information. I mean, I've been engaged with a lot of media personnel from your side, not just giving interviews, we're
Yes.
friends in India and you have friends in Pakistan, right? This is nothing odd. You talk to them. We've discussed during the thick of the conflict, we were discussing it, what's going to happen. Now, the problem is that I felt there's very little understanding in your policy making circles in particular about Pakistan. The track twos that you have, I mean, even those people don't end up with the right understanding of Pakistan. There was so much which was taken for granted that, yes, now 90% of Pakistan is with Imran Khan, and so they dislike the army, and therefore there will be no support. And so the results that came, tend to surprise. It's more important to know more about your enemy than your friends. The two countries have been enemies for 76 years. It's worth it to understand each other a bit more. So to be able to interpret our respective moves vis-a-vis the other. And I think it's important to take the strategic move, and therefore conversations are necessary. I'm sure right now is not the environment for talks, but I think eventually we will have to talk. Um, whenever, especially after this conflict, whenever you mention talks, one reaction from India is, what's the use? Why talk? The thing is, talks do not necessarily mean that you commit to something, but even then, talks are important.
Thank you for sharing your perspective on General Munir, his military mind, and what's happening within Pakistan. Thank you indeed for speaking to the Quint. Thank you, Aisha.